Hello everyone and welcome to the Identity Manager version 10 LTS video series here on our YouTube channel. In this video series we will talk about the newest Identity Manager version 10 LTS features and modifications. If you like to follow what we are talking about, you should be a technical expert in the Identity Manager world. This training, of course, is not a good idea if you want to start with the product, because we are immediately will talk about detailed feature modifications. This video series is also intended to be the official recording of the Unite session from Marcus Weiss-Ehlers and Stefan Hausmann. So if you want to see what these guys presented at Unite, you are as well a well-seen guest here in this video series. If you ask me what is the best in the Identity Manager 10 LTS, I would return and say there are two things which are pretty interesting. One, of course, is the Identity Manager Manager. This is a web application which replaces the old Web Manager completely. That means we have a brand new application with the capability of the Identity Manager on-premise. We will have a look at that tool, of course. The second thing is, of course, a big review of the Identity Manager Operations portal, another web portal, which got a lot of more functionality and should assist operations people much better than before. But this is not all. There are many other great features as well in this version, and I will talk all of them. We have more than 150 pictures where we will just talk about different features and modifications. And now let's start, let's go into it and figure out what is the newest thing. One thing left. If you try to upgrade from an older version of the Identity Manager, for example from version 9 LTS, then it is as well wise to look all of the other upgrade video series. We had one for Identity Manager 9.1, one for 9.2 and one separate for 9.3. All of these are necessary if you want to migrate from this good old version 9.LTS to 10.LTS. And now let's start. On the left-hand side, the database situation. Up to today, SQL Server 2022 latest CU is mandatory. It is the database compatibility level 160 what we need. What we don't support up to today is SQL Server 2025. So please don't use the 2025 SQL Server yet. On the right-hand side, .NET again, this time .NET 10. Please understand it is absolutely not the same change than the change we had before when we was just moving from .NET Framework to .NET. Now we are moving from .NET 8 to .NET 10, which is just a minor step. The good message, by the way, is that you can easily just install .NET 10 and .NET 8 in parallel on the same machine without doubts. What is necessary, of course, is the runtime for client tools and the job service. And you need the SDK if you want to compile the database and develop something in the Identity Manager, which is script-based. Here you have to know that if you install the .NET SDK, you have the .NET runtime included. So it is not necessary any longer just to take care of this. Last but not least, on any of the web servers, and that means the web server that contains the API or the app server, you need the .NET 10 ASP.NET Core Runtime Hosting Bundle. This is necessary to ensure that the web applications are running properly. If we have a look here on the Docker images side, then of course these new containers for Identity Manager 10 LTS will as well be based on .NET 10. That means the containers are upgraded now. .NET 10 is part of these containers. We are supporting Windows containers for Server 2025 and for Windows Server 2022. What is not supported, of course, are containers with Windows Server 2019. These are nearly at the end of the lifetime. You can look here into that very specific document. And these containers are, of course, from an identity manager perspective as well not supported. So you will only find Windows container images 2025 or 2022 in the Identity Manager repository. And now let's talk about the deployment and, of course, the online documentation. As you easily can remember, the Identity Manager does have its local documentation system. That means if you want to look into the manual, there is a local web project installed together with the Identity Manager, which allows you to look into it. For people who know the Identity Manager a little bit better, you know that there is also an online version of the same documentation available that you can find using the URL docs.oneidentity.com. Both have the same content, but there are some differences. Let's shortly talk about them. First of all, the online documentation gets updates even if a product is already released. So that means if there are minor changes necessary, the documentation which is already online available gets an update. The local documentation not, because therefore you have to install another version of the software. Secondly, installing the documentation takes time because we are talking about a lot of content, a lot of megabytes and a lot of small files, and all of that takes its time during the installation. Last but not least, from a security perspective, because we are running a local web project, it is always necessary to keep on track and to patch the software as fast as some problems are getting reported and the technology gets updated. However, all of that at the end leads to that we don't install per default the local documentation any longer. Instead of that, automatically this is deselected per default and the front ends are linking to the online documentation of the Identity Manager. For all the people who are running, for example, air-gap machines, it is possible to install the documentation, of course. Therefore, you have just to check that checkbox, what you can here see on the screen as unchecked. What is the default? However, with checking the box, you get the old standard as it was in the past. Without that, that means with the new default, you can then easily use the online documentation if you are online connected. And now let's talk about discontinued features. As you can remember, we have two types of them. There are discontinued features, that is what we will just remove with the next version of the product. And we have end-of-life features. You will see them a little bit later. And these end-of-life features are already removed. Currently, we are talking about the discontinued features. In the first row, the approval by mail for Exchange Online via the Exchange web service was removed. This is old technology. Microsoft is discontinuing that as well. And instead of this old technology, now the Microsoft Graph-based connection to Microsoft 365 is used. That means there's no functionality loss. It is just removing old technology, which is in the meantime just replaced. The next thing is process tasks for subcomponents and process tasks for the AD component. We are talking, of course, about components not necessary any longer. There are other solutions for them. They are mostly and mainly unused, and because of that, the Identity Manager developer team decided that these things are not necessary any longer and can be removed. The information is only important if you in your customization and your custom processes are using these very old and outdated components. In this case, you have to look into your processes again and ensure that these components are replaced by the standard that is in the meantime typical. Last but not least, two scripts that has to do with the delegation of in the Identity Manager. In the very past, of course, with older web fronts, older than more or less 2 or 3 versions, there was used some scripts. You can see them here, which is, for example, the script vi mass delegate vi master delete delegate or something like that. This was for mass operations just generated to be used from older web portals. Since versions in the meantime, these scripts are unused because the web portals are doing that completely different, and because of that, we are removing that from the Identity Manager as well. Again, if your customization of your web frontend is using these scripts, then you have to find, of course, other solutions to do the same. One could be, by the way, just to take the script code and put it into a custom script so that this code is available. I can't guarantee that this script code will work with the modern Identity Manager. This is then something you have to debug on your own. Now let's talk about end-of-life features. That means these features was removed in the Identity Manager 10 LTS. First thing here, the support for Windows servers 2012. This and 2012 R2 are in the meantime so Jurassic that it is not necessary to support them any longer, and because of that, this server support was removed. In your case, that means if you want to deal with the Identity Manager 10 LTS and you want to, of course, work with servers 2012, then you should just update your server software. If you can't do that, then you should wait with the migration until this is, of course, done, because with the version 10 LTS, these server types are completely unsupported. And then the first hint to the new technology we will talk about a little bit longer in some minutes. And this is, of course, the manager, the new manager web application in the Identity Manager. Here on that slide, you see that the legacy manager web application is not longer supported. It was, of course, in the old installation available, but because we replaced this manager in the web with another brand new Identity Manager web application, it is necessary just to remove the old version. Both cannot run together in the same system, and because of that, this old legacy web manager was just removed. Windows Server 2019 container images, we talked about that seconds before, are removed as well. And now some other deprecated features, end of life and removed. There are some scripts you can see. Scripts like get Azure access token for users and tokens for app are removed. Security reasons are here the reason why they got removed. At the end, the technology changed. There are secure ways to handle that. You can't use such scripts any longer to deal with tokens, and so we are using now modern technology, and the old scripts can go away. For people interested in security, the new handling of these access tokens is now in isolation. Because we just removed the legacy exchange EWS, it is as well necessary to remove configurations parameters helping to configure that. And this is now done. The removed configurations parameter left lower side are just only old relicts from old technology already removed, and so these parameters are removed as well. Because of a new implemented behavior, we don't need the table QBMCEF definitions not any longer, and that is the reason why it was removed. And last but not least, you see here, of course, some old properties out of the NDO world. There was just some fields implemented prior version 7 of the Identity Manager, and since this version, of course, not be used any longer, and because these are super old data relicts, we have removed columns NDO server file name, NDO server password, and NDO user security type. That will of course cause some data loss in your database. These 3 columns could contain data, especially if you was just using the Identity Manager before version 7. But of course, nobody will miss that data, and with that, everything will be okay. and not really fitting to the block, but of course as well part of the installation or the upgrade of the Identity Manager. We are talking about accelerated upgrades. What I like to say is that the database migration, that means to move from one version to the other, is now much faster. The reason for is that R&D decided just to remove several data maintenance jobs. These data maintenance jobs are of course resource and time consuming, and because of that they was removed. Such maintenance jobs typically are in the system to ensure that the data is consistent and of course clean. However, this removal leads to faster upgrades, and faster upgrades to a shorter downtime, and a shorter downtime of course to a shorter maintenance window. With that, hopefully customers will be more happy. But what's now to do with these data maintenance jobs? Honestly, some of them are super important, and because of that they was moved to a schedule. They are running now from time to time. This means, for example, the remove of trailing blanks on nvarchar columns, which is now a scheduled job, in the same way than checking object keys if they are correct and exist, and something like update table revision dates. All of these things are now running on a schedule. Some other of these removed maintenance tasks are not available on a schedule. This is the right side of the slide. They are now part of the manually maintenance. Remember, there is the Identity Manager maintenance functionality where you can just check your data. And there you will find now things like check default 0 for numeric columns, or check invalid dates, or check same case in parent-child relations. However, with moving away this from the migration will be much faster, and of course the functionality keeps alive in different places of the Identity Manager now.